down with them. We need to educate. They need to understand that we are not against the culture, but we need to work with the culture to a good future of this community. And we have done that. And they're coming on board and they're agreeing that we will work together. So we just hope that from now on there is going to be a change in Maasai. Small in ewasoooo, but we hope it is going to boil over to other areas.
Okay.
Okay. On speaking on the protection of the woman, like on land issues, the Maasai have always been having made large tracts of land, but it has never been owned by a woman anyway, or owned by a widow anyway, or have that right. And by the constitution itself now, we are trying to empower women to families, not necessarily the woman, families. A man and a wife, it's necessary for the two to own a little of a hereditary or ancestral land. The two can own, which will help protect the rights of the children in there. It helps to protect the rights of the child, to reduce cases of men selling the whole land and finally the whole family migrating and becomes squatters without any comparison or without the decision of the woman or without the know-how of the woman as well. So I think entirely, I as a man, it has become a challenge because it has, though realized by few, but not accepted by so many. But the traditional can also be changed, and the teaching can help. In perception of rescuing child, if one participated in rescuing child, maybe against FGM, maybe against child marriage. The greatest challenge is why and the purpose she should be. They think it's a right of passage. It's a right of passage. But who should decide for you to pass the right of passage? It's always the parent who decides, not knowing the physical, not knowing the social effects that leads to this kind. But really, if proper teaching is brought on board to them, then I think change can happen.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Anytime.
So Emily, Millicent,
Yes.
would you mind giving us a tour of the place?
I don't know how. Where?
Can you start with where the girls stay when they are rescued?
The rescue center is actually run by the sisters, not by us.
Okay.
The only place that we come in is when we get the information that there's a child that is being almost going through the ritual of circumcision. Then Edward goes and report it to the chief. And then the chief, now they go there to rescue the girl and then brought to the rescue center.
Okay.
So we really do not run the rescue center, we just partner
And facilitate?
and facilitate in that nature.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But however, I don't know whether the sister is there or their children where they are. I can't see them out from today, maybe they're out.
Okay.
Those are their 3 living areas. There are 3 living areas that they are going they will be staying.
Okay.
And I think the kitchen is going to be built here by father and a dining room.
That's the chin shack we are looking at?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. That little shack is their kitchen at the moment.
Okay.
But their sleeping quarters are ready.
So ewasoooo basically wants to educate people in this area.
We need to educate. Awareness here, it's at the lowest. You know, when other areas in Kenya, they are talking about, like let's take for example HIV and AIDS, that they've moved on from awareness to prevention. Here, we can't even start prevention before awareness. It is so sad that when we are doing intervention and we go to the villages, to the manyatas, to give awareness to the women, they cannot even accept to be tested before they are given permission by their husbands. That's how bad it is. So we are trying to have a lot of intervention and educating people and trying to encourage them to do testing because they don't even understand. You must remember that, and I think it's a human being thing. If you're not sick, you're not sick. How can you tell somebody to be tested for something and they're not feeling sick? But we need to tell them you need to get tested to know whether you have the virus in your blood or not.
Sure.
And also because of lack of education, that takes time just to register or to sink in their minds. that needs to be done. And then there are a lot of deaths related to HIV and AIDS, but HIV and AIDS has no name in this community. It's
Still a myth.
it's still a myth.
It's still a myth.
So we have that challenge to do that. The other thing, when it comes to the empowerment of women, historically or culturally, women are not allowed to, they do not own anything. It doesn't matter whether a woman has bought that cow or that land. That land belongs either to the brother, to the father, or to the husband. So you can imagine the challenge now of introducing income generating projects. Our scope, or the way we are seeing how we can deal with this to give women ownership of what they have, because we are telling them they need to be empowered, is to start generating income generating projects that men are not interested in. That is to do with like fishery, to do with the beehives and the greenhouses, and maybe to educate them on, teach them, transfer skills maybe for tailoring, computer skills and so on. And most people will say, why computer skills? I would say that because we have a huge number of youth who have finished Form 4 in this community, in the 4 clusters that we are working, who have not gone for higher education, and they have no other form of skills. They've not gone to any colleges. So, and we feel that the world now is very much onto IT, that at least we need to start programs on computer classes. And a library, a simple thing like a library. We need to start a library, a community library. I'm not even going to say school library, but a community library where everybody comes there. We need a ewasoooo community to understand we are all equal. And if we say that we are only going to take the library to the schools, which is very expensive to have anyway, then what will happen to the community? The women or the young people who have left school, they still need to be educated, isn't it?
Sure.
And a library is the best place where people can still go and continue to read, and we will run projects in the other activities in the library, and that will encourage people to come there not having any fear, because even if we run HIV and AIDS programs within the library, and somebody else is coming to read the library, and children are coming to do their research for their schoolwork, then it will be a vibrant place for everybody.
Yeah, kindly tell us, probably most people don't understand when you talk about female genital mutilation and wife inheritance. Would you kindly tell us what that is?
Now, you want me to describe what FGM is?
Not in its own essence, but what is it? What happens? Why is this so dangerous? Why are you against it? And why is ewasoooo as a community-based organization trying to educate people to stop doing it?
First of all, we really think that it's a practice that is against humanity. Secondly, that FGM, when really the female, you are circumcised, when it comes to giving birth to a child, complication starts. Part of the female genital mutilation, there is fistula, because sometimes if that child is not circumcised properly, then it affects with the urine system and everything. And then thirdly, within the community, when a girl is circumcised, that is a sign that that child can be married, which means that child is open for rape, for anything. And it doesn't not necessarily mean if that child is because I'll say it's a child because they're usually between the age of 13 and 15. They are not only married to their peer, they are married to old people, or they are inherited by older men. Then most of them actually they get into HIV positive homes, not within their choice, but because of marriage. So we think that's belittling women, and it's something that just needs it has no respect for women whatsoever, and that's why we need to teach people, because part of empowerment of a woman is also commanding respect for themselves, isn't it? I would want to imagine that, and that sign then that this girl is a woman can be married off, then can go, because if you are not married, nobody would be interested in you.
So we understand that your project is actually out of this compound. You're building an education center?
We actually, it's not our property. We are going to hire. We are hoping that we will be able to hire that property, because that's where we want all the activities to be housed. As I said, we have 3 pillars, and within this little office now, it's not enough for all the staff, because we need more staff than we have, because we are getting very good results with the community, and they want to be educated, they want all these things, and we cannot do it here. So we have a building that we have earmarked already in town. It's in the process of being finished, and that's where the library is going to be, our offices are going to be, and also there will be rooms for volunteers. If we get volunteers, we want to source volunteers. We want to encourage volunteers to come and work with ewasoooo, and we need facilities where they can be housed.
Okay, so this is a place where we are going right now?
We will be going there right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here we are in ewasoooo, the town. Today is market day currently, and so there are a lot of people. And we are studying Millicent and Shiko to see how life is in Masailand, because this is the heart of Masailand.
Born and bred here.
So where did you go to school?
Where? I went under a tree. I should have showed you. That would have been interesting if I took you to where I went to school and where I started, under a tree.
How many were you?
But like 30.
30 students under a tree.
Under a tree. Then from there you write on the ground with your hand, and somehow you graduate to a class. And you are given an exercise book with a quarter of a pencil. This is our future home. This building is the building that we are intending to use for our offices, to move from the small offices to this one, so that we can be accommodated and all the activities to be accommodated here. Because right now we are very limited, we can't have enough staff, we've got only 4 staff, and the work is so much that we need just to expand and have a good place. Because I believe, on the other hand, is when you are trying to put value to people, you must have value yourself. And if you're in a little shack and people can't see, they can't understand what value you're giving them, while you don't have any value yourself. Hence the move.
So what do you have housed over here?
Right now it's still under construction.
Okay.
And if we can just move in, and boy, I'll be having nursery school here. Right here, you see this child is sleeping. We need an aftercare. Where is mother? Seriously, this is the kind of thing that we cannot afford in our whole community right now. But if we had an aftercare, which we intend to, then these kids will be having somewhere decent to eat and sleep.